Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a 2022 Honda Passport Elite. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for giving me some time with this Passport. Check out the inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get right into the video. Starting under the hood of the Passport, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 280 horsepower and then 262 pound-feet of torque. And so this is like the same engine setup that you get under the hood of pretty much every Honda, it seems like, from their minivan all the way to, well, what used to be under the hood of the Accord before they switched to the turbocharged 4-cylinder. I always think the hood prop situation with Hondas is also interesting too. They have two different areas where you can anchor it, just different. Now going over the front end of the Passport, I love the coloration on this particular one. It's just this really cool, like, it's got some metallic flake in it, but it's basically this gray that's kind of like flatter in tone. You can see there with the daytime running light, and then you can see there with the headlight, and then you've got some venting down below and turn signal indicator, and then notice here with the whole front grille how it's all blacked out, and you've got the Honda logo there at the center, which doubles as a sensor. And then you can see here with the bottom portion of the bumper how that's kind of like blacked out, and you'll notice that blacked out trim is kind of a theme here of this particular Passport. And kind of moving from the front here to the side, you guys can see here with the wheel setup, it's kind of interesting that they went for a lot of silver there on the wheel, because again, there's a lot of blacked out elements on this Passport. But there's a quick look at the front suspension right there. And you guys can see not super wide for the tires themselves, 245 millimeters and 20-inch wheels. Pretty standard setup for an SUV in this particular segment. And then notice the splash guard right there with the side step as well. And then notice the mirrors are blacked out, just like a lot of other elements. Things, see body color door handles, but notice the front ones do have keyless entry. And then here's your full side view. And so you can see it's basically like a shorter Pilot, right? That's the best way to look at the Passport. It's supposed to be the sportier version because it's a little bit smaller, right? And then notice how you have the wheelhouse line. You can kind of see the rear suspension a little bit. And then the plastic molding continues all along the side here. Another splash guard there in the rear as well. And coming here to the very back, notice with the taillights, there's no like white element. It's just all red, which is kind of interesting. And we have our Elite all-wheel drive badge, and then you've got the Honda logo there on the back, which is also blacked out. Passport logo down below that. Then you can see here with the exhaust tips out either side, and the blacked out trim at the very bottom. Parking sensors there at the bottom on top of that. Then here's everything for the rest of the rear. And of course, we've got to show more black trim, but go here at the top, we've got more black trim, but pop inside. So you can see here with the door panel, this being the Elite package, is going to have a nicer interior compared to other Passports. Notice we got a sunshade as well. A couple cup holders here in the back. Tons of storage space, which is nice. Makes it practical. And then here are the seats. So it's got Honda's nicer seats. It's got this cool kind of like perforated square design in the center portion. And then you can see the bolstering. Definitely another nice upgrade. And there's quite a bit of legroom back there, which is a big positive. And then you got the vents down here, heated seats, climate controls, and then charging ports as well. And of course we got our cup holder armrest. It pulls down. And then you can see there with the trunk space in the rear. And then of course you got a little button there in the back. But anyways, the big thing is it's got solid trunk space, and with the seats folded up, with all seats folded up in the Passport, you have more space than the Pilot. And you can see the rail there at the top of the ski box. And then here's the door panel at the front. So notice here with, again, the padding. And then you can see with all the window controls, automatic for the front too. And then we do have our memory seat function right there. And then there's a quick look at the mirrors. And then coming down below, you guys can see there for the hatch release, gas cap release, and then here's the front seat. So again, same design as what you have in the rear, with that square design all throughout. Then power adjustments on the side of the seat. Pedal layout down below with a rubber floor mat. We have the hood latch release. Then parking sensors, got the windshield wiper function, lane departure, collision assistance, stability control, and then notice our econ mode, and then you've got your mirror adjustments there, kind of in a unique area. And there's a quick look at the steering wheel. So you notice you've got nice leather there at the top, and then it's perforated on the sides. You get a little bit of a better grip. It's got kind of like that golf ball texture almost. And then notice here with the controls on the front, practical stuff like your voice command controls. Got the Honda logo there in the center. And then again, the stitching in the center as well. And then you can see there with the heated steering wheel and then cruise control. And then you've got that screen there in the center, but then analog gauges on either side. And then as for the infotainment system, Honda's infotainment system, it's solid, and you just have a regular backup camera with it. And then dual zone here at the front for the climate controls. Although the stop-start button illuminates like that, it's kind of cool. And then heated, cooled seats for the front passengers. So that's one of the nice things about going for the Elite package. And then wireless phone charger. You can see the charging ports right there. And then the shifter for the transmission. And then notice your drive mode selecting your auto stop-start function right there. Then you've got a couple holders. And then we've got the little storage cubby. And then being the Passport, since it's the off-road version of the Pilot, you do have like an off-road mode for the drive modes. And then it does have a sunroof there at the top, which is kind of humorous because the ski box blocks most of it. So that's kind of cool. But notice with the interior, kind of like pretty, monotone from a color perspective, right? And then here is the window sticker. Quite a bit of glare. Sorry about that. Can only do what I can do with the lighting on it. Can't even see the price, man. Well, you know what? At least I tried. But what I can tell you guys is if you go for like the loaded up Passport, loaded up Pilot, they're pretty close in price, which is kind of interesting considering the fact that the Passport technically is less practical since it doesn't have a third row. But yeah, I think overall with all the trim piece and everything, it's definitely a nice looking vehicle. I think you guys can see everything with the additions though on it. So yeah, after everything's been added on this and market adjustment, 51,000. So normally you'd be closer to like mid 40s, but yeah, after market adjustment and everything added onto it, a little bit more. That's today's crazy car market. But yeah, that is the Passport Elite. So we are setting off here in the GLB 250. And this dual clutch is pretty interesting. It's not as refined as the 9-speed that Mercedes has in a bunch of their other vehicles, but it is quick to shift, that's for sure. So first setting off in the GLB, I'm driving this back to back actually with some GLEs, which obviously they're not in the same segment whatsoever,